In my bedroom, where the morning sun filtered through white lace curtains, I took a deep breath as I awoke. Looking at Michael's profile as he slept beside me, I felt a surge of gratitude for our happy life together. We've been married for 5 years. Our new home in Maplewood, an upscale suburban neighborhood of Boston, is a white 2-story house. In the lawn, roses that Michael tenderly cultivates every holiday are blooming beautifully. Upstairs, we've prepared a room for the baby we hope to have someday. We chose soft yellow wallpaper and put it up together. It's a room filled with memories. My job as a real estate agent is to help others find their dream homes. But having my own home was my dream too. With my annual income of $80,000 and Michael's $150,000 as an investment division manager at Boston Capital Bank, we saved desperately to finally obtain our castle. "Good morning, Linda." Michael wakes up and smiles at me gently. His mild-mannered, polite nature always shows me unchanging kindness. Though he has a perfectionist side, that's part of his charm. His vulnerability to pressure is something I want to support him through. On holidays, it's become our habit to enjoy brunch at Flower Bakery and Cafe nearby. Surrounded by the aroma of freshly baked pastries, Michael and I share stories about our week, work talk, future dreams, and thoughts about the children we hope to have someday. Volunteer work at church is also our precious time together. After Sunday's service at First Baptist Church of Boston, helping with the children's Bible study has become our routine. Seeing the children's innocent smiles makes my desire to become a mother grow stronger. It was at this church that Michael and I met. At a Christmas charity event 6 years ago, he picked up the scarf I had dropped in the crowd. "This scarf has such a lovely color," he said with a smile that I can still vividly remember. Afterward, we had coffee, just the two of us, at a cafe near the church. We got caught up talking about our values and lost track of time. Cherishing family, living honestly, helping those in need, our thoughts aligned surprisingly well. A year later, we pledged our love at the church. At our wedding, both Michael's parents and mine shed tears of joy. Since then, both families gather for Thanksgiving and Christmas, sharing warm moments together. After marriage, we didn't neglect investing in our future. While saving money as a dual-income couple, we also realized our dream of touring Europe during vacation. A kiss under the Eiffel Tower in Paris, coins tossed into the Trevi Fountain in Rome, the rain-washed streets of London, all are etched in our hearts as precious memories. About a year after moving into our new home, we began seriously thinking about having a baby. We completed testing at a fertility clinic, and both of us were diagnosed as healthy with no issues. Every night before bed, we pray together, asking God to bless us with a wonderful gift. On weekends, it's become our tradition to host dinner parties for couple friends we met at church. While enjoying homemade dishes, we chat about raising children. Seeing how happy our friends are makes my desire to become a mother grow stronger. From my office handling luxury real estate in Back Bay, I can see the Charles River flowing. During lunch breaks, I sometimes take walks along the river, imagining future dreams, the image of Michael and me walking hand in hand with our child. Just picturing it warms my heart. Though Michael keeps busy every day in the financial district, he always puts family first. On holidays, he makes sure to make time for walks in Boston Common or shopping on Newbury Street. Even when he seems stressed from work, he never shows an unhappy face at home. Our daily married life isn't flashy, but it's bound by genuine love. We choose ingredients at Whole Foods Market and cook dinner together. After meals, we cuddle on the living room sofa and share the day's events. Though it might seem trivial, these ordinary moments are priceless treasures to me. Lately, my real estate work has been going well too. I often handle luxury properties in Back Bay, and clients trust me deeply. I especially love helping young couples find homes. I'm always moved by their figures, starting new lives with dreams and hopes just like we did. Michael's evaluation at the bank has been steadily rising too. His serious and meticulous personality is highly valued as an investment division manager. Though he says, "It's thanks to you," I know it's all due to his own efforts. Even when weekend work increases, I'm deeply grateful for his kindness in always making it home for dinner time. On our anniversaries, Michael always prepares surprises. Last year, we had dinner at a lovely restaurant in Cambridge. This year, he got tickets to the Boston Symphony Orchestra. His words, whispering, "I wanted to see your smile," always melt my heart. At the church Sunday school, I teach children Bible stories. I love seeing their eyes shine when I tell stories of creation or Noah's Arkansas. I hope to someday pass on God's love to my own child in the same way. Michael is also devoted to youth ministry work at the church. In our garden, flowers bloom through all seasons. Cherry blossoms and daffodils in spring, roses and lavender in summer, cosmos in autumn, and camellias ordered from Japan for winter. Taking care of them with Michael on holidays has become our routine. My heart flutters imagining children playing in this garden someday. We've already placed a baby crib in the children's room next to our bedroom. Though friends said, "Isn't it too early?" we wanted to give form to our wishes and prayers. Soft yellow wallpaper with white wooden furniture. We even installed a projector that displays starry skies on the ceiling. We both eagerly await the day this room will be filled with happy laughter. That day too began like any other morning. When I woke before the alarm clock, it was still dim outside. Quietly slipping out of bed while watching Michael's sleeping face, I decided to make a special breakfast. In the kitchen, I started preparing French toast, Michael's favorite. I soaked brioche from the bakery in custard made with milk, eggs, and vanilla essence. The scent of cinnamon spread through the quiet kitchen. French toast with maple syrup, fresh berry salad, freshly ground coffee. Just as I finished setting the table, I heard Michael's footsteps coming down the stairs. "Good morning, Linda." Another beautiful morning. Though Michael smiled gently as always, I sensed something special in the air. It seemed he had something on his mind. Over breakfast, Michael spoke up. "I want to make tonight special. I should be able to come home early, so I want to cherish our time together." I felt my heart race. We've been trying to conceive. But tonight, I sensed his desire to focus simply on loving each other. "I'm looking forward to it," I answered, feeling my cheeks grow warm. Before heading to our respective workplaces, our goodbye kiss at the entrance was a bit longer than usual. Watching Michael's back as he left, my heart swelled with anticipation for tonight. During work, a message arrived on my smartphone from Michael. "I should be able to get home by 7. I'll bring your favorite wine." At my Back Bay office, I kept checking the clock while reviewing property documents. Though I had 3 new property assessments scheduled, I couldn't quite concentrate due to my excitement for tonight's special evening. My colleague Jennifer even joked, "Linda, you're practically glowing today." Even while showing properties, watching young couples' sweet interactions reminded me of when we were house hunting ourselves. The afternoon meeting felt longer than usual. Though the fertility clinic appointment was marked on my calendar, tonight I just wanted to forget everything and spend time with Michael. 30 minutes before closing time, I neatly organized the documents on my desk and confirmed tomorrow's schedule. After touching up my makeup and reapplying my favorite lipstick, I felt like my evening date with Michael had already begun in my heart. When I got home, Michael's car was already in the parking lot. Opening the front door, I heard soft jazz playing. In the living room, candlelight flickered. "Welcome home, Linda." Michael, changed into a white shirt, smiled holding a bottle of red wine. The table was set with an assortment of cheeses and fruits. "Take your time having a shower. There's no need to rush." Michael's words warmed my heart. After showering, I changed into my favorite silk negligee. I carefully blow-dried my hair and dabbed on just a touch of perfume. When I returned to the living room, Michael was waiting on the sofa. The deep red wine in our glasses sparkled beautifully in the candlelight. On the table, not only was there my favorite cheese platter, but also tiramisu from the always crowded Bova's bakery. Michael must have stopped by North End on his way home. Outside the window, trees swayed gently in the streetlights. In the distance, Boston's city lights twinkled like stars. Michael had put on music by Keith Jarrett, my favorite jazz pianist, and his quiet melodies gently wrapped around the room's atmosphere. Cheers! The sound of our glasses clinking echoed in the quiet room. While drinking wine, we shared stories about our day, work talk, future dreams, and thoughts about the children we hope to have someday. As our conversation progressed, the distance between us naturally grew closer. Michael's hand touched my hair. His fingertips gently traced my neck. I felt my heartbeat quicken. "I love you, Linda." His whispered words made me feel warm to my core. By the time we moved to the bedroom, both our breathing had grown slightly heavy. Even on the stairs up to the second floor, Michael wouldn't let go of my hand. Opening the bedroom door, candles were lit here too, with the scent of lavender wafting through the air. Fresh sheets had been laid on the bed, and the pillows were softly fluffed. Michael had made all these preparations for tonight. By the window, white roses he must have bought during the day were arranged, their forms glowing divinely in the moonlight. As I lay on the bed, Michael gently embraced me. His body heat and the feeling of his soft lips. Words of love whispered in my ear made me feel warm to my core. His fingertips touching my silk negligee were as delicate as butterfly wings. "Linda, you are my everything." The words of love exchanged between kisses felt like eternal vows. This perfect moment with my beloved, it was God's greatest gift to us. That's when sudden, intense pain struck my lower abdomen. "Ah, it hurts, my stomach." My body tensed with pain unlike anything I'd experienced before. Cold sweat broke out, and my vision began to blur. "Linda, are you all right?" Michael's voice seemed to come from far away. "Michael, help me." Though I desperately forced out the words, consciousness was slipping away. The last thing I saw was Michael grabbing his phone in panic. His voice calling an ambulance seemed hazy, as if heard underwater. "My wife suddenly." Michael's voice desperately explaining the situation. Then complete darkness enveloped me. I thought I heard the sound of an ambulance siren in the distance. But even that wasn't certain. Consciousness sank into deep, deep darkness. When consciousness began returning, the first thing I noticed was the strong smell of antiseptic. My whole body felt heavy, as if slowly rising from the bottom of a deep sea. Along with that, anxiety about the unfamiliar environment gradually invaded my consciousness. Opening my eyes, I saw an unfamiliar white ceiling. The hospital room's characteristic bluish-white light illuminated the quiet space. The regular dripping sound of the 4 marked time like a second hand. Feeling warmth in my right hand, I turned my face slightly to see Michael holding my hand with an exhausted expression. Dark circles were carved under his eyes, and his shirt was wrinkled. In his profile, as he stared into space, I saw shadows I'd never seen before. "Michael." When I called out in a hoarse voice, he jumped up. His widened eyes held a mixture of relief and fear. "Linda." "Thank goodness, thank goodness." Large tears welled up in Michael's eyes. His hands trembled, gripping mine tightly as if afraid I would disappear. How long was I asleep? My throat was dry, and my voice wouldn't come out properly. Michael hurriedly offered me water. "About 24 hours, the nurse explained kindly as she entered the room. "Let me check your vital signs. Temperature, blood pressure, heart rate." While the nurse efficiently conducted the tests, I tried to trace my memories of last night. Wine, candles, and then sudden pain. The memories after that were as hazy as being in fog. "Dr. Smith will be here shortly," the nurse said before leaving, and silence returned to the hospital room. Michael seemed to have something to say, opening and closing his mouth several times. Though I felt something odd about his behavior, I closed my eyes again. The fatigue in my body hadn't completely lifted yet. After a while, Dr. Smith entered with a knock. A female doctor in her late 40s, she had eyes that suggested deep insight. "Linda, how are you feeling?" she asked in a gentle voice. "My body feels a bit heavy, but the pain has settled down." Dr. Smith nodded while making notes in the chart. Then, after a pause, she began. "This is difficult to say, but about your husband." At that moment, Michael's hand trembled. His face grew visibly pale. "What do you mean?" My voice rose slightly. The doctor took a deep sigh and slowly began explaining. "Your symptoms are caused by pelvic inflammatory disease. The cause is a sexually transmitted infection." My mind went blank. A sexually transmitted infection. But we're married. I couldn't process this incomprehensible information. Unfortunately, because this condition has persisted, there's a possibility of temporary infertility. Treatment will take time. The atmosphere in the examination room suddenly grew heavy. I could see the blood drain from Michael's face. "This is my responsibility," Michael began in a trembling voice. "It's all my..." His voice broke off there. Large tears fell from his eyes. He covered his face with both hands, his shoulders shaking slightly. As if a long-held burden had suddenly collapsed. "Michael." To my question, he maintained silence for a while. When he finally raised his face, he wore an expression of agony I'd never seen before. "An employee named Jessica, 6 months ago." The words came out in fragments. "A new employee assigned to the investment division. Smart, attractive, trusted by everyone." It started with casual conversation, gradually growing closer. Using a promotion on a new project as bait, she got close to him, gained leverage over him, and then... Each word stabbed my heart like a knife. Where did they kiss? The office? A hotel? When did it start? How often? Questions kept swirling in my head, but I couldn't voice them. My husband who had sworn to love me. My husband who wanted children. My husband who had pledged eternal love before God at First Baptist Church of Boston. My husband who went to Sunday service with me and was devoted to volunteer work. It all seemed like a bad joke. Why? My voice was barely a whisper. In that one word was packed all my questions, the sadness of betrayal, and anxiety about the future. Michael's confession didn't stop. Work pressure, anxiety about promotion, and words blaming his own weakness poured out. Casual conversations at his desk, drinks after meetings, and guilt after being intimate. Fear when symptoms began appearing. Self-loathing for continuing to hide everything. I was scared of losing you. I couldn't respond to his tearful apology. After that, events took an unexpected turn. Michael's confession triggered an investigation at Boston Capital Bank. The internal investigation conducted by HR and legal revealed shocking facts one after another. Jessica had approached other married male employees with similar tactics. She deliberately formed relationships using promotions and money as bait, intentionally spreading infection. Not just the investment division, but managers in corporate sales and international operations had fallen into her trap. Victims continued to be revealed, and ultimately it was discovered that 5 married men had been deceived by the same method. She had been targeting promotions in each department and access to confidential information. Michael's face grew increasingly pale as he heard the investigation results. If only he had noticed earlier, if only he had had the courage to speak up, he could have prevented other victims, and above all, prevented me from going through this. His guilt seemed to deepen with each fact he learned. Dr. Smith picked up the test results and began explaining again. Antibiotic treatment has already begun. Fortunately, early detection was a blessing in disguise. Still, the impact this infection had on my body wasn't small. The inflammation in my fallopian tubes could affect the possibility of pregnancy. The dream of becoming a mother that I had taken for granted suddenly became a distant reality, and I felt deep despair. From the hospital room window, I could see the Maplewood streetscape. In this town, we were supposed to start a new life. The White House, the garden with roses, and the future children's room. All these dreams were crumbling like a castle built on sand. A church bell rang in the distance, and its sound resonated strangely in my heart. We would need to contact family and friends too. But how should I explain it? What face could I show to our church friends whom we meet every Sunday? The more I thought about it, the more heavily reality weighed on me. The sound of the Ford dripping continued relentlessly. The clock hands moved mercilessly forward as the evening sky turned blood red. The smell of antiseptic floating in the hospital room felt strangely cold, just like my current life. One morning, a week after being discharged from the hospital, I spread out divorce papers while gazing at the sunlight streaming through the window. The blank forms, not yet filled in, seemed oddly bright in the morning light. Since returning to my parents' home, my phone had been flooded with calls and apologetic messages from Michael. Though my parents initially showed their anger, they gradually softened their stance, saying, "Everyone makes mistakes, and forgiveness is important too." The pastor from First Baptist Church of Boston also came to visit me. God's teaching is forgiveness. The bonds of marriage grow stronger by overcoming trials. But I couldn't do it. More than the betrayal of trust, what I couldn't forgive was having my health and our future possibilities stolen by his weakness and silence. The children's room with its soft yellow wallpaper. Every time I opened that door, the emotions that welled up squeezed my chest. The possibility of having children isn't zero, Dr. Smith's words echoed like a distant bell. But treatment will take time. And even after recovery, careful monitoring will be necessary. In the white hospital room, listening to the drip of the four, I thought countless times. Could I live the rest of my life with this betrayal? Could I eat breakfast at the same table every morning and sleep under the same roof? The answer was no. Michael desperately begged for forgiveness. He visited my parents' home every day, repeatedly apologizing through tears. Please give me another chance. I will change. I will make amends. Those words no longer held the endearment they once did. Instead, what I felt was deep fatigue and the certainty that our previous life would never return. I've decided to divorce, I told him at the doorstep. Michael stood frozen, his face drained of color. At that moment, a strange sense of liberation enveloped my whole body. It felt like heavy chains had been removed, like fresh air flowing into my lungs. Over the next few days, I quietly worked on plans for my new life. Experience and connections built through real estate work. From there, a new mission emerged. While organizing my desk drawer at the Back Bay office, I found a photograph. A commemorative picture of Michael and me hanging wallpaper in our new home's nursery. The happy smiles from that time now felt like distant memories. Turning the photo over, a new idea came to me. New Chapter Real Estate, a company providing safe homes for wounded women to start new lives. I immediately went to investigate office buildings in the Seaport district. The sea breeze felt pleasant, and the vitality of the new business district seemed to encourage my resolve. I began making contacts with women's support organizations like Women's Lunch Place and Jane Doe Inc. Your experience will surely become hope for other women. The director of Women's Lunch Place's words made my chest warm. The new office has high ceilings and large windows overlooking Boston Harbor. The interior is predominantly white, with lavender potted plants placed here and there. A simple, clean space. Here, I want to counsel women seeking new lives. Housing support programs for DV victims and those in financial hardship. While compiling the business plan, hope welled up that my experience might become strength for someone else. I begin filling out the divorce papers. Writing each character, I felt this wasn't an ending but a new beginning. Outside the window, maple trees were starting to bud. The soft spring sunshine seemed to bring new hope. The wind from the sea gently stirred the lace curtains. 3 months later. In my new Seaport District office, I was meeting with my first client. A young mother who had escaped domestic violence. As she held her small child and consulted about housing in a trembling voice, I felt a strong sense of purpose. New Chapter Real Estate received more response than expected. New clients visit every week through referrals from Women's Lunch Place. Through partnership with Jane Doe Incorporated, we now have access to the DV Victim Support Network throughout Massachusetts. A safe home is the first step to a new life. Hope lights up in the client's eyes at my words. That moment is the essence of this work. At First Baptist Church of Boston, I also started a new support group. Women gather in a church room every Wednesday night. There, women with similar experiences share their pain and encourage each other. Your courage has become our hope. Those words from one group participant touched my heart deeply. I also joined the Boston Women Entrepreneurs Network, expanding connections with women active in various fields. A female real estate investor I met there became a partner who regularly provides information about affordable properties. On a spring afternoon when I could feel new life budding, I stood by the office window overlooking the sea, reflecting on my journey so far. The wounded past certainly exists as part of me. But now it has become nourishment that makes me stronger. The phone rings, a call for an appointment with a new client. Opening my calendar, I smiled secretly. I hadn't been wrong to choose this path. The mission statement on the wall reads: Safe and hopeful homes for all women. A season of new buds. My life, and the lives of women needing support, were beginning a new chapter with certain hope. Michael ended up resigning from the bank. Following the internal investigation results, he was allowed to leave honorably like the other victims. At our final parting, he repeated the words, "I'm truly sorry." I heard he's now back in Chicago where his parents live, helping with their family business. Jessica Morrison was arrested. Intentional spread of STIs, extortion, illegal acquisition of confidential information. Various charges came to light, and she ultimately received a prison sentence. Her actions weren't merely for financial gain but revenge against men in power. Court records showed that harassment she suffered at a previous workplace had led her down a twisted path. Ironically, this news created significant ripples in the financial industry, triggering the introduction of new prevention programs against workplace sexual violence and harassment. It unexpectedly became a tailwind for my support activities, making this experience a foundation for a better future. That has now become the guiding principle of my life.